The Obama administration and Secretary Clinton have really made an effort to bring America back into Asia, and APEC and the East Asia Summit held in Bali straight after really crystallized this. The East Asia Summit will be the first time that Obama is there with the Asian leaders, hosted by ASEAN. And the APEC, of course, he's made a big stab at re-energizing the Asia-Pacific with the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So the question is, what happens after this? There'll be two paths on the way post-APEC and post the East Asia Summit in Bali. The fearful path is that America might start to become more isolationist, and that when it does look out at Asia, it's a path of mix of fear and aggression, that free trade has been unfair trade, and that in this, Asians and particularly China have benefited at America's expense. Now, the other path and the more optimistic view is that America will embrace the Obama administration's efforts in this first term to really engage Asia in a kind of win-win. And now in that win-win, America's got to find the creativity, the competitiveness to really start exporting to Asia. And some of the numbers start to bear this out. But Americans' impatience might start to get in the way, given the jobless issues still here in America. America is doing a lot of the right things. The American brand, the American lifestyle, the soft power of America and the consumer power of America is great. And the tragic passing of Steve Jobs really shows that America has had these individuals and these companies that can really be the thing to have across the world, including in Asia. The question then comes, could there be more of that? Can there be more stories of which Asians consumers can want and afford American products? And the question of jobs, of course, not Steve Jobs, but jobs here in America, relates to whether America's production and manufacture can be more based here. And I think that's happening. Costs in China are going up. And if America can kind of recreate itself, not of course to go as low per hour as where the Asians are, but to narrow the margins a bit, America has that chance of producing, not only for its domestic market, which still is huge, but equally to penetrate Asian markets. And that's where things like the FTA with Korea, the existing FTA with Singapore, and Trans-Pacific Partnership play a part in helping America open those markets. But even if the markets are open, you need the right products, you need the right companies, and you need the sense of leadership to go out into Asia. America's strategic engagement with Asia, I think, is the bedrock for both Asians, but Americans too. It explains to Asians why they need America so much. Otherwise, the intra-Asian unity that's growing would often face questions. Why America? They're not they're not in the region. But everything that America has done post-World War II and post-Cold War has shown that while geographically it's outside the region, it's very much enmeshed in that region. And within the enmeshment, besides the economic issues, more fundamentally, in fact, is that security assurance. And beyond this long-term picture, the current conditions show that. In this last year, there's been a certain nervousness about China. Not anti-China, but nervousness among Asians over whether China will start to assert itself much more strongly than it has in the past. And that's where I think America faces a kind of delicate balancing. It can't overreach in Asia. The American public, I think, has concerns over its finances and is tired of foreign theaters of engagement. It shouldn't push too hard because nobody in Asia wants to see China set up as a kind of new Cold War enemy. And fundamentally, China and U.S. economy have much more to do with each other positively than negatively. And so I think that maintaining the status quo is part of it, to remain engaged in a deep way. But then after that, transforming that status quo, not into isolationism, but into a way that respects Asia's increasing unity and its rise, but still participates positively and gains from that rise. So looking for Asians to pay for American military troops is probably too direct and too short term. But on balance, if America can gain economically from engaging Asia, then that more than offsets the military and other costs. That prestige, power, and economic engagement will go together rather than one being left as the only marker in the region of the American presence. It occurs to me that they've been here before. If you look at the early 90s, late 80s, this idea that Japan would be it has been there and has gone away to the point where we don't talk about Japan overtaking America. Just talking about Japan holding together would be enough. I think that America has this reservoir of abilities to recreate itself, to challenge itself, and not to be surpassed by anyone easily. And so I think that this mood will shift and America can become more dynamic again. It has to, for America's own sake. But when that dynamism takes off, I'm concerned of which path it will lead us on. I'm hoping that the transformation of the U.S. Asia relationship sees that it's America's own interests and that America will gain from the relationship. Otherwise, as dynamism returns to America, it'll be kind of, again, an either-or competition. Either Asia prospers or America prospers. And I think the truth of the global economy today is that both can prosper together. The terms of engagement need to change, but the engagement needs to be there. It needs to be quite profoundly deepened and detailed.